Hi, everybody. Well, it's the week of Valentine's Day, and we talk about flowers and Valentine's Day as sort of like the epic holiday of the year. But we have a member who's doing something over the top epic at an iconic venue celebrating local flowers. So I'm going to turn right to our guest. She's coming to us from the top of the
Hi.
Empire State Building. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, Deborah. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, it is. This is so exciting what you're doing. I know you might have to put your mask back on, but while you're on the camera, quickly introduce yourself and tell people where you are.
Sure. So, my name is Jacqueline Retigliano. I am one of the co founders of Hometown Flower Co., and I'm coming to you live from the Empire State Building.
Oh my gosh, like that is nothing symbolizes New York City and the Big Apple than this building, and you're up on the top, right?
Yep, we're on the 86th floor of the observatory. Sadly, it's raining out today, so there's zero view, but I'm looking at a pretty great view, which is all locally grown flowers.
That's awesome. And I know about that with the Seattle Space Needle. Half the time you go to the top and you only see fog. So it's okay because
Yep.
I'm sure you're going to have beautiful weather over Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah.
You've been on the podcast in the past, so I'll link to that past episode so people can meet you and hear a little bit more about your story. But I know we're short on time, so give us a snapshot of how this all came together. You're based on Long Island, but you serve the greater New York area with local flowers, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we are based in Huntington, Long Island. We exclusively work with locally grown flowers. When we are in season, so from about, late April to November, we are 100% Long Island grown, weather
Wow.
permitting, unless something goes wrong. And then in the shoulder season and off season, like we are right now, we source from greenhouses in greater New York and New Jersey. So thankfully, we've been able to find those sources and keep our commitment to 100% local going year round now.
Well, the name Hometown Flower Company says it all. When I first, well, we've known each other for a long time, but when you first started your flower business, you had a mobile truck, and you still have it, this vintage pickup truck.
Yep.
And now you're branching out. So tell us
Yeah.
how did this all come together, this Valentine's Day at the top of the Empire State Building?
Yeah. I mean, so to be completely honest, it's still a mystery to me exactly, but they reached out, they found us. One of the folks on the marketing team is from Long Island, and she had heard of our business, and they are not going to have a private wedding for the first time in like 38 years, I think it is, 30 something years. And they instead wanted to have a flower vendor up there. So she reached out. She had seen our flowers in a bag style. And I don't know how familiar she was with our commitment to local sourcing, but my husband, who's also my partner, said, "Are you sure you want to do anything during Valentine's Day week? That sounds crazy." And I said, "If we can put local flowers at the top of the Empire State Building, there's nothing that says I love New York like that. So we're doing it
Oh,
here just for the mission."
I love it. And your marketing has been so fabulous. I saw one of your press releases that started out, or maybe it's on your website, like things are looking up all the way up to the 86th floor.
Yep. It's hard to shake that since that's my background. I kind of think in marketing talk.
Well, that's why you knew this was a perfect fit and you had to say yes, even though it was a monumental feat to figure out how to source in February and how to do a pop up. So this is happening over the Valentine's Day weekend, right?
Yes, so we officially open to the public on Thursday. We're doing a little press preview and a little social media preview today. We're actually going to be doing a workshop with them to design our flowers in a bag arrangements, just to get them really touching and connecting to local flowers, because there's some really beautiful varieties right now. I just picked up the most amazing sweet peas ever.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
and then we open to the public from Thursday to Monday, Valentine's Day.
Okay, wow. So over the whole romantic weekend where couples, maybe no one's getting married at the top of the Empire State Building, but I bet you there will be engagements happening. And they need
I would
flowers.
assume so. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And we've got a good range of things. We've got some dried stuff. We've got some bouquets and then arrangements for folks to take home. So just trying to keep it open for everyone.
Well, have you built your, I know you did a photograph that you've shared with media, but is it ready to go this week? Can you give
Yeah.
us a sneak peek?
I can. This is now the second time that we've done this before we're opened. So all the designers, I'm sure, can appreciate that.
Kind of like staging it for photography and then now doing it for the real thing.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my
So can you
goodness.
see it okay? Let me stand
Yeah,
back a
yeah.
little bit
So
more.
it's like a flower cart, right?
Exactly. So they had a cart and they've been inviting different vendors to come up and pop up. Rather than just kind of selling flowers out of the cart, we decided to put flowers on it and to make this whole foam free installation. I can say that there's 100% zero floral foam
That's
used here.
awesome. That's awesome.
And
The cart is, you didn't have to supply the cart. So that was kind of a
yeah,
nice thing for you to just start with a base. And
yes, I initially thought that they were going to ask us to bring our truck, which would have been a impossible task, actually. Come to think of it, but no, they had this cart. It's their 90th year, so it's like a 90th celebration cart. It's sort of hidden right now, but you can see the 90th anniversary logo on there, and we just came on and just sort of took it over with flowers.
wow, that's amazing. So you used it as kind of an installation to just make it pretty. And then are people going to be able to just take selfies in front of it and that sort of thing, but then also shop from it?
Yes, absolutely. So the goal is to make it something beautiful, but with a deeper message. And if I can get close enough, let's see, you'll see these little factoids that are supplied in collaboration with Slow Flowers. Thank you very much. And
Oh
they're
yeah,
actually
yeah. We talked
all
about
over.
you wanted to have messages for people to learn a little bit more while they're shopping.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, for us, we want this to carry with them. So there's even a call to action that says, home is where the flowers grow. Let's see if you can see that.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. I love
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. Well,
Thank you.
you're letting people know that it's possible to get flowers that are local instead of imported, especially at Valentine's Day.
Yep.
That you're using sustainable design practices, and that when people buy local flowers, they're helping local businesses, and that's sort of a nice long-term message for Hometown Flower Company.
Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't ring more true than that. Every single sale and even every single follow really just carries weight for us. So thank you for saying that.
So tell us about your product mix. You said you have bud vases, dried flowers, and then some pre-made bouquets. Is that right? Right?
Yes. So we have two different sizes for bouquets, designed to be handheld. We've got a mini and then we've got a small, and then we offer a flowers in a bag upgrade if they want a vase and then take it home in our signature flowers in a bag packaging. And then we have a bud vase of dried flowers and then a dried flower bouquet as well.
Wow. Wow. And what is the range of price points?
Sure. Yeah. So let me refresh my own memory. Our dried bud vase starts at 38, and then our larger bouquet is 75.
Okay. Wow. So that's pretty affordable for especially during Valentine's week where you see a lot of things inflated. So you
Yeah. Thank you
probably
for acknowledging that. Yes, it was really hard for our team to try to find something at a family friendly, tourist price point, and um, we just hope we don't lose on this installation. We really hope that the value here is for the awareness and the goodwill and getting the message out there for the movement, and like I said, hopefully we don't lose money on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, because your background is in public relations and marketing, you sort of seeing this as a broader tool to accomplish some of your branding goals as well as hopefully sell flowers, right?
That's probably the primary reason, actually, why we're doing this is for that value.
So talk about your sourcing because when you first launched your business, which was about 3 or 4 years ago, I think, we had a lot of exchanges about your just frustration of finding product, especially in the winter. But I believe that one of your goals was to personally meet every farmer that you bought from. So that's why you started close to home on Long Island, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we still directly source from our farmers. We know all of them by name. We text every single one of them our orders. love-hate relationship. I'm sure we nag them all the time. But yeah, I mean, it's important because there's a trust element there. And for us, this is our business. So, when there are flower shortages like there are right now, we just had to close our Valentine's Day orders early, actually, which, definitely hurts our business. But we're not going to divert from our mission. So if we don't feel 100% confident that our farmers can fulfill it, and, hopefully we've got some sunny days coming up that will get a nice surge of product. But yes, we know all of them. We have a relationship with all of them. It's taken a lot of work. It really has, to find all of them. It's harder in New York for some reason. On the West Coast, you guys have some amazing collectives, and just I don't know, it just feels like it's in abundance. But here in New York, we've got the flower district here, so it's definitely tough to go farm direct here. But we try, because the relationships are really important to us.
Well, at least being on Long Island, you're a little bit closer to some pockets of agriculture or small scale farms that you could personally go visit and develop a relationship with, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're out at the farms 3 times a week.
Yeah. And so now in winter, you said you're buying from greenhouse growers in New Jersey and in other parts of New York. What are you able to get at this time of year?
So I just picked up some amazing sweet peas and poppies. I think I got the very last stems of dahlias from the season, which is kind of unbelievable. I can't even believe that I was able to touch.
Winter greenhouse dahlias?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So that was a savior for the holidays. And I was joking around with our growers of, what do you think for Valentine's Day? And they surprised me with some of those. So that's really cool. We've got anemones. We've got gorgeous ranunculus. We have access to calla lilies. Let's see what else. Oh, and the most amazing tulips. Amazing tulips. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing you don't have is a rose. And that doesn't matter, because you're showing people all the other seasonal options there are. I mean, roses aren't seasonal in February.
Correct.
Hardly anywhere. maybe in California, and maybe if it's a hydroponic greenhouse rose. But that sense of hometown pride is really coming across when you and your team can tell the shoppers, hey, I know the grower there in the greenhouse in New Jersey. These are fresh. I got them this week. They get it's just making them aware of, I guess, the benefits that they just took for granted before. I think people just see flowers and they assume they're local, like at the grocery store.
Or they just, there's just a disconnect. And to be completely honest, I was disconnected even being a 3rd generation florist growing up. You didn't think about it. And, I'm happy to be a business owner in the time that we're in, where people are paying attention to supply chains. And, I'm sure you saw the New York Times article about the flower shortage, although we're sitting here ringing our bell saying, there are flowers here. You're just not looking in the right place.
That was written through one lens, and that was unfortunate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Well, tell everybody about your background in terms of your growing up in a family flower shop. And we covered this in the podcast before, but just to bring people new to you to the story.
Sure, yeah. So just the abridged version, my grandparents founded a florist in Queens in the 1946. Your retail florist. I sort of picture my grandpa slinging pom-poms on the corner. That was his signature flower. And then my dad really grew up in the flower shop and took it over with my mom. They opened up a second location on Long Island and really started focusing on weddings and events. Through their whole generation, became kind of the demise of the retail part of the industry. FTD, 1-800-Flowers, supermarket flowers, this all just made people start to not value the local florist. So they completely pivoted. They stopped doing retail entirely, only focused on special events. So for me, growing up around that, I guess I felt a little distanced from it, and also all I saw were the wedding clientele and
the big ballrooms and the big venues.
Exactly. And beautiful, beautiful work. But I just, didn't ever care to want to have fresh flowers at home. It's so funny for anyone who knows me. They're like, the fact that you're designing flowers, and just in my blood, it just kind of came out. It actually came out as a form of stress relief for myself. My background is in PR and marketing, which is an unnecessarily stressful industry, but it is nevertheless. It's very digitally connected. And I started hacking away my garden and needed to create something that expressed myself, and discovered I think I had the design gene. Jury's still out. We'll see.
I would say so. Well, it's interesting because when you and I first met, you were in PR and marketing, and you were working with a client who I guess we could say was in the slow fashion industry. And somehow you wanted to do flowers for an event. You just reached out, and I think because we were called Slow Flowers, you thought, well, this would be an interesting fit. And that's, I think, to me, shows that you had this idea about sustainability and integrating that into your brand or your mission even before you formed your own flower business.
Oh, 100%. So I was just kind of having fun and curious. But I really wasn't into flowers at all until I started to draw parallels, because I became kind of a supply chain nerd through, a former client and now a friend of mine who just made me so aware of the horrors of the sourcing in fashion. And I started questioning flowers and started asking my parents, where do you get your flowers from? And with pride, they answered, oh, this comes from Colombia or this comes from Thailand. And because in their generation too, to say that something was imported from another country actually gave an element of prestige to it. It made it high end.
Right.
And with them too, so I immediately felt like there was a challenge there too, of a creative challenge, and maybe that's me just kind of being the renegade kid in the mix. But my background is in mission-driven marketing, so I needed something more than just the flowers to kind of bring it on home for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's wonderful that you started and kind of grew this organically. And, in that now you've survived many seasons. You've done this sort of as a side hustle until recently. And now you're able to do maybe some more ambitious endeavors because you maybe have a little more time on your plate with going all in, right?
Absolutely. Through the years along the way, there have been opportunities for me to just do this full force, but there was always something else that would kind of sneak in where I could have a security blanket. But now we're fully in this. It's scary. It's definitely scary. But it also is really exciting too. I never would have been able to do something like this if I still had my day job. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Can you just talk about the facets that you're going to emphasize for 2022? Because I'm on your newsletter list, so I get your mailings and I see that obviously the truck is still a huge part of the business, but it's not the only part of the business.
Absolutely. Thank you. We are definitely multifaceted, and that is intentional. Just, I guess, again, collateral damage of seeing the tumultuous nature of retail flowers. I probably said this to you, Deborah, that I would never do a wedding, but we are fully doing weddings now.
Your parents must be cracking up at that one.
My mom is always like, "Oh no, how did this happen? I don't know."
But you're doing weddings on your own terms, kind of with your own brand lens, right?
100%. So we've been very fortunate that all of our wedding inquiries have been 100% inbound. It's been reactive and then word of mouth from there. I'm trying really hard not to become dependent on it, because we all know the instability associated with it. So we've got our truck, which we do for photo shoots, but then we also use to set up flower bars for workshops and DIY stem bars. We do tons of workshops every single month, going with the seasons. We like to really connect people and give hands-on experiences. And, we partner with a lot of vineyards. So glass and wine, flowers in hand. That's how I got started. We do our wedding and, of course, special event design. And then we have our one-off deliveries, and then we have our subscription, which we call our Flowers in a Bag subscription, where people can get flowers weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. And that's really the backbone of our business more than anything else, is we bring the flowers to you.
And what is your delivery radius? from where you're in a town called, is it Huntington?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So which is about the middle of the island. So we
Okay.
go end to end on the island, and then every other week we do Brooklyn and Queens. This is our first foray into Manhattan with the Empire State Building. So we'll see. Not that I'm intimidated by Manhattan. I love the city very much, but logistically and financially, it's significant. So if there's enough demand, we'll cross in. But right now, we'll still see.
Right. It sounds like you would do it like the Queens and Brooklyn model, where there was a designated delivery day or something like that.
And that's actually our model overall. We always schedule our deliveries by location and we group everything together. That's how we can serve the whole island. Otherwise, if we were just on demand, same day could be in our town or, right
Sure.
in our tight radius. But we just say, hey, our next delivery day is going to be on this day. And we try to post our schedule in advance. And it actually all is around our subscription delivery schedule.
I love it. And to me, that says that people are willing to wait because they're buying your aesthetic. It's not it's not something that they're choosing your aesthetic over maybe the day they want, or, kind of that Amazon mindset.
Yeah, hopefully, that's what it means. Absolutely. People definitely do go crazy for the flowers in a bag look. It's still, it still makes me laugh a little bit. I get asked all the time, do the flowers grow in the bag? How do you keep them hydrated? And I just laugh because it's just packaging.
Can you just describe that? So it's just a brown craft paper bag that you kind of bunch around the flowers, but I know that there was a method to the madness when you came up with that.
There is a method to the madness. I try not to reveal my exact recipe, but if you're in the game, you can 100% figure it out. There's nothing genius here, but we try to avoid plastic as often as possible, single-use plastic. So again, having grown up seeing cellophane around flowers, and we wanted something ownable, knew that we needed something in water. So it's just a rolled down brown paper bag with our signature packaging, and it conceals our vase in there.
I see. So you pop a jar or a vase inside of that, but the brown paper kind of gets back to the no plastics branding. I love that.
Yes. And on the label, we have like flower care tips that are written on there, and it sort of reinforces our mission as well.
And hey, what an affordable product, right? You're not having to go have something custom printed.
That's true. It's true. It's just, custom stickers stuck on there. Everything about us is a bit kind of scrappy. We try to reuse salvaged wood and all these different things. I mean, if you looked at our display, it's definitely not polished. We've got antique crates and vintage garbage cans that we're using for props.
That's
mixed
wonderful.
With some gold wedding stands. Yeah, it's just the juxtaposition of everything for us.
We're happy to be at the top of the Empire State Building with you. I know you've got a lot of other things happening today. You have a press event. So who's coming? Like bloggers and Instagrammers or influencers, or
so
what do you
this
anticipate?
afternoon, yeah, we've got a group of about, I think it's 15 more social media type of influencers, and then this evening we're going to be having more traditional journalists joining us.
Wow. And so you're kind of making a little workshop setup for both groups then to help them engage with flowers.
Exactly. If any florist has the opportunity to do anything at the Empire State Building, make sure to do everything on one floor and allow 10 hours for load-in, because there is so many different elevators you have to take. They are all on different parts of the building. I am exhausted.
Jacqueline. No. I'm excited. I think that it's like it's making me think back to my very first Empire State Building visit as a kid, and I was in elementary school, and I just remember it was like going into I don't know, the Emerald City or something. Like, it was so unreal and so exciting. And yes, the journey, the ascent is part of it for the guest and visitor, probably not for the vendor who has to load in on the slow loading freight elevators or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Well, get through it, Jacqueline, and thank you for partnering with Slow Flowers. You gave us an opportunity to help you with some collateral material, and I'm really excited to just raise awareness. it'll be really fun to see what kind of press you get and also what that bump is of just consumer awareness. I'm really hoping that it has a little ripple effect for you throughout the whole season.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you so much for always supporting me personally, our business, and then, of course, this initiative, too. I'll just take down my mask for a second just to give a wave.
Thanks.
Thanks
so much.
Perfect.
Have a great Valentine's weekend, and we wish you a lot of luck.
Too.
Thanks for representing.
Thank you so much. Always.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.